Hello and welcome to the Southwest Alliance Technical Assistance Center, Achieving Self-Advocacy, Goals with the PATH Plan. Today is July 1st, 2015.
The Southwest
This
Alliance
project is brought to you by the Southwest Alliance Technical Assistance Center and was funded by the Administration on Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities. If you are not presenting, please put your computer, any other devices on mute. And we will start with People First of Denver.
Welcome to our webinar, Achieving Self-Advocacy Group Goals with the PATH Plan.
And create your own group t-shirt. People First of Denver. What is a PATH plan?
PATH, Planning Alternative Tomorrows with Hope, is a problem-solving tool that uses colorful graphics, words, pictures, and symbols to illustrate a positive and possible future.
The PATH plan is advocacy and the market with a hope.
Okay. The PATH planning tool helps individuals and groups look at where they are in terms of their current goals and look at what they want to accomplish in the future. Some of you may have had a PATH plan done individually, and this is just done for the group using the same tool.
In Colorado, every 4 years of the member group thinks about what the goals they want the state group FLO Colorado to set out.
Then each of the member groups brings their ideas to a state plan meeting to create the PATH plan. So all of the groups work on their own and then take their ideas to the state so that all of the groups can be represented.
Next group all work together to make a common goal for the state group that responds to everyone's ideal.
Next slide.
Our star green, the group.
Okay. Each step of the PATH plan gets filled out by the group.
Okay.
Next slide. This is what we use as a guide.
Yeah.
The first thing that gets filled out, as you can see on the steps, is touching the dream, the North Star. Next slide.
North Star green, the groups choose a big picture of the green for this t-shirt, and the groups to be the constant responsibility in the next 4 years.
These are the goals that we will have to spend a lot of time working towards. They're the big picture goals. The next step is
send the goals once a year from now. The group has what steps they will take in next year to move towards the North Star.
The group will meet again in a year to specifically look at the progress that they've made and see if they are meeting the requirements of the PATH plan. Next slide.
The ground into the new who are we, the member of the work, to get to describe their own They're all together explaining who, where, and how things are right now for the group. They are thinking about the possibility of problems for a good future for the group.
This is where the group describes who they are, so each member group would be listed, and they list their current situation, and they also try and think of possible problems that might keep them from reaching their goals.
Who are contact?
Who we are, continue.
Who are we are. We start the past, and important to think about the gift and the strength of the group and add them to the path plan. Those can be things that the group has really done well, and the skill the group has because it is memory of our history.
Okay. Next slide.
People to row who help. The group adds who they would need to ask in a row to help the group. After a go, they will have to choose on the path plan.
A good example of asking people for help in achieving their goals is Speaking for Ourselves Colorado, the state Colorado group, recently asked the ARC of Colorado to be their fiscal sponsor, and that was a successful partnership that was made, and that was one of the steps that had been listed on the past plan. So that was a successful goal that was reached. Next slide.
Strong to build strength. The group added how they can build the strength and become a strong group to the path plan.
So one of the goals that's always listed here, and I'm sure it's true for a lot of self-advocacy groups, is more members. We think that that would be the most critical way to build strength. So that's always number one on the path plan for building strength. Next slide.
First step, the group then decided what the first step needs to be started moving toward, or really big goals and North Star of the group. Is listen to the coming of the group to the goal.
So everyone decides in the first step that they agree that these are the goals and that all of the groups are committed to making the steps to achieve them. Next slide.
What's an idea for going to the black plan?
So yeah, as you can see, they get pretty full of ideas that different people have, but they're all organized neatly on there. It's a really good tool to organize a lot of different information. Next slide.
Our path plan FNO.
So this is a copy of the path plan that our group used in 2011. We just put that in there so that you would be able to see. And as you can see, we were successful making this path plan with the Adams County group, the Colorado Springs group, Saul, Jefferson County group, the Boulder group, Wells group, Denver group, Alamosa group. So it really is a good way for a lot of different groups with a lot of different ideas to organize their information. Next slide.
Can my group benefit from the path plan?
So we've talked about it, and we feel that any group that has goals and things they want to accomplish can benefit from using the path plan to organize all of their goals and keep track of what they have accomplished. Next slide.
Goal can be organized in a plan to then can be made.
So this slide kind of represents the way that it seems sometimes when you have a lot of different groups with different ideas and you're trying to make common goals for all of them, we feel like the PATH plan has been a really good tool for organizing what matters to each individual group together. Next slide.
Goals can be reached and used in PATH plan for your group.
And
Go ahead.
yes, the PATH plan has been used in Colorado for their self-advocacy group for more than 20 years. So it has been a successful tool, and I'm sure that they'll continue using it for at least 20 more. We feel like it's the best tool for our group to reach the goals that we have. Okay.
The date to remember.
You don't have to do that. Juliana, do you want to take questions now?
All right.
Or we can take questions.
Oops. Go ahead and take questions. You guys can unmute yourself. If anybody has any questions, you can ask the Colorado group.
Put the PATH plan back up. Yeah, I have.
All right.
Would you tell them?
Oh, they went back up.
I'd like to see it more closely and real fast.
Yes. Yeah. We're going to look at the PATH plan that Colorado did.
Okay.
Daniel had a question to ask. Get his answers quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, Daniel had a question. He says, what is the hardest step? Daniel had a question. He says, what is the hardest for your group when doing a PATH plan? For your group when doing a PATH plan.
I think from that, from the advisor standpoint, I think it's getting everyone to bring their homework to the state meeting. So making sure that everyone wrote down their ideas so that it can be included. Vicki, what's the hardest part, do you think?
The hardest part is the PATH plan. People need the idea what they want and do. It's down the road like 10, 5 years from now, 20 years from now, that they want this done and all that. And I know this PATH plan is a long PATH plan because we're learning all this and everything else. Yeah, so that's it.
Is it possible for you guys to read each row on what you guys put down on each of the rows?
What was that, Juliana?
Is there a way that you guys can read each row?
This is my other line. My other line here going. I'll just.
Can you read each row, Colorado?
Yep.
Sorry, we're having a tough time understanding you, Juliana.
Uh-oh. Let me put it on the chat. I sent you a message.
Oh, each row. So,
Row. R-O-W.
So, the row, who we are, first one. So listed in this one is not a 501c3 membership membership organization, full inclusion statewide, speaking. We feed into a national organization, which is SABE. Now we talk about the things that they were doing then. They were talking about that they do Facebook. They had members on a few different service provider boards, a transportation board, an ARC board, the SABE Executive Committee, and the DD Council. Who to help? They asked for Karen from the Developmental Disabilities Council. They asked for some help from the ARC. They mentioned SABE to get some ideas to build strength. They said that the most important thing would be to be kind to each other and to be gentle with each other. They wanted to add money to the Treasury. That would make it stronger. Communication lines open between the groups. Immediate steps would be they wanted to have a bake sale. They were going to Jan, the president was going to meet Denver, Boulder, Alamosa to bring information down to that group. Let's see, then a year later, they were going to have a rough draft of the brochure done. We actually have a brochure done. We've had it for quite a while. We've even actually had to update it from now. That's been very helpful. The North Star dreams that they wanted to have done were to partner with some non-IDD groups, kind of do less ARC sort of partnerships and service provider partnerships, and do some more inclusive groups. Build visibility options, so they wanted to perhaps be on TV. I know that they were successful in getting a Facebook page set up. They wanted to get members of SFO on board, which has been successful. We have several SFO members that are on board. You know, for example, Vicki Ray is on the ARC of Colorado board. So is Michelle Manning. Is that? These are the main parts of it.
All right. Sean had a question. Can you answer the question?
And of course, all these people are been moved. I saw this guy that looked like, Ricky Falls. And I'm thinking, that's not the one.
Heidi?
Yes?
Sean wants to know,
Sean,
would the group prefer to use words? Typically, Pat uses pictures.
yes, because of the larger number of people that it included, it was easier to do it verbally, although they wouldn't have been opposed to someone drawing a picture to kind of convey their ideas. But it's usually like it's usually set up so that one person is actually writing on the path plan as lots of people are giving information to have it be filled out.
Let's see. How did it happen this time?
No, there wasn't a graphic facilitator. If someone wanted to draw a picture, if that's how they wanted to communicate, I'm sure that they would be able to draw it themselves.
So it depends on the facilitator if they use words or if they use pictures?
We've never had a graphic facilitator specifically. So usually it would always be verbal. But if someone wanted to relay their ideas in a picture, they could be allowed to just draw on the path plan as a verbal facilitator was filling out.
Yeah. And, cussed me out, but that's not that's verbal aggression, but it certainly wasn't anything that made me uncomfortable,
We hear some people talking in the background. Can you put your phone or computer on mute, please? All right, any other questions?
So what did Dawn say in terms of medication?
How many people was it altogether in the room?
When you were working on this plan, how many people were involved in this plan creation?
It was the whole speaking for ourselves group.
So usually between 50 and 75 people.
Yeah, it is that many years
One time?
working on that.
Or is that filling out papers?
Was this everybody in the same room, or was it filling out papers, or just people speaking out and having it written on the
Everybody in
plan?
the same room.
So the individual groups all decide what information they want to have be on the past plan before the day that they work on the past plan. So it would be all of those people in the room, but it would usually be one person that's relaying the ideas of the local group to the state group. So there would be 50 to 75 people involved in creating all of the ideas, but then usually one person from each group would be talking to the past plan facilitator while they fill it out, representing everyone's ideas.
These are all good questions, everybody.
Yeah.
Are there any more questions?
Do we have like a template that we can use? Maybe like a template that we can use?
Katie wants to know, is there a way to get a template on the way you put the plan together?
I'm sure we could come up with something that we could send. Maybe we could bring it down with us to Arizona next month now.
That sounds great.
Would that
sounds great.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Any more questions from anybody else? When you review this on an annual basis, how many people review it?
We do it at a state meeting, so there's usually 50 to 75 people again there.
Is it done on big paper?
And the reason I keep saying 50 to 75 is because we have some groups that have large numbers of people, so if one of them is, so if even just one group's missing, then it can cut the number down of the people that are actually in the room by quite a bit. But we still get their input in a conference call.
So when you display this and as you're creating and putting all the information on, do you use big paper?
Yes, we do. It's a big paper.
And then somebody transfers it.
And then is this a pictured image?
Yeah, they take a picture and then they put it into a PDF. I think. And then everybody gets copies, so everybody can look at it.
So if someone
I know Vicki pulls hers.
Yeah.
Vicki pulls, she's the president of our group, and she pulls out the past plan at almost every meeting.
So if someone has trouble reading this, you have it available in large print?
We could certainly do that, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a 11 by 14 or 18? Or is it 14 by 18? Or 11 by 14? Yeah.
Yeah, we could get that put together.
Like, how do you know when something is complete?
Well, usually they like to, they'll kind of talk about it. Like in this case, like partnering with non-IDD groups, then they would say, did we do that? And then they can ask the whole group, and then each individual member group would say, yes, we did this and this, and then they can...
We met our goals.
Yeah, then they can write down the way that they made their goals. So they'll ask the group, and then the group will provide examples of ways that they did that. And we go over it too, we go over it as a group too to kind of see where we've been before we go to the meetings, the state meetings, so that we have our answers to the questions.
Great. All right. So it sounds like no more questions. We can move on to the next slides. So the next advisory meeting face-to-face is going to be August 19th to the 21st here in Phoenix. We'll be staying at the same hotel, DoubleTree, and have the meetings at the Disability Empowerment Center. We're also looking at having individual state meetings August 10th using GoToMeeting, and then as well as September 14th GoToMeeting. Give you some time to write these dates down.
We have times.
They're all
Starting at 3 for August 10th and August September 4th. I'm talking about the 10th. August 10th is starting at 3.
Did everybody get to write these dates down?
Juliana, August 10th and it's starting at 3.
Okay.
That's good, right?
So we have New Mexico meeting on August 10th. New Mexico time would be 11 o'clock. Is that it? 12 o'clock. Yes. 11 o'clock. Colorado, you would be meeting at 11:30. And then Texas, you would be meeting at 2 o'clock. And Arizona would be meeting at 3 o'clock our time.
That's on the 10th, right?
Yes.
11:30.
Number 1, 2.
And September would be the same.
Or 12.
Here's the list of the next 3 webinars that we're having. So Monday, July 6th, New Mexico is going to be speaking about barriers to professional employment. And watching out and what to watch out for. And then Tuesday, July 7th, Texas is presenting on equal pay for equal work, employment first. And then Monday, July 20th, Arizona is going to present on 50 statements about legislative advocacy. So the flyer that I sent has each of the announcements for each of the go-to trainings. And we'll send this copy of this PowerPoint so that you will have this handy. So if you have any questions, please call us at the office, 480-222-8800, extension 314. We will be moving our office in August, and we will send you that new information when we get that. Does anybody have any other questions before we end this call? So I'd like to thank Colorado for presenting today. Colorado, do you have any questions on the dates?
No.
No.
New Mexico, are we good to go? I think, Daniel, you have yours. We are good to go. Okay, great. And then, Sean, I did receive your PowerPoint. I haven't opened it yet. Do you have any other questions? Are you good with the dates? Dates make sense. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
We will talk to you on Monday and Tuesday of next week, and we will listen to New Mexico and Texas tell us about employment. Thanks, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.